Today we continue to listen Anattalakkhana Sutta. First we have to recite Anattalakkhana Sutta, Volitional, page 119. Volitional, can you follow me? Volitional Bhikkhave Natta Vijnani Jahidam Bhikkhave Atta Abhavaisa Naida Vijnana Avadaya Samvideya Labbeta Cha Vijnane Evam Me Vijnana Hodu Evam Me Vijnana Mahositi Yasamaja Ko Bhikkhave Vijnana Natta Tasma Vijnana Avadaya Samvidati Nacha Lavati Vijnane Evam Me Vijnana Hodu Evam Me Vijnana Mahositi. We recite together. Vijnana Bhikkhave Natta Vijnani Jahidam Bhikkhave Atta Abhavaisa Naida Vijnana Avadaya Samvideya Labbeta Cha Vijnane Evam Me Vijnana Hodu Evam Me Vijnana Mahositi Yasamaja Ko Bhikkhave Vijnana Natta Tasma Vijnana Avadaya Samvidati Nacha Lavati Vijnane Evam Me Vijnana Hodu Evam Me Vijnana Mahositi. So 5 aggregates, 5 khandas, Rupa, Vedana, Sanya, Sankhara, and Vijnana. These 5 aggregates are anatta, non-self. In the Khanda Vega Sanyutta Pali, Phena Benupama Sutta, Buddha said, Phena Benupama Rupam. Rupa is likened to froth, casually seen. Our body may appear substantial, the human body complete with head, body, hands and feet in female form, in male form appears to be very substantial. Body seems permanent. It looks beautiful and good. But this body is subjected to mental analysis. You take your body into the meditation hall and developing your concentration and mindfulness. And then you can analyze your body. When your concentration getting strengthened because of the diligent practice, by carefully noting, meditators start to realize that going consists of desire to go, the movement, standing, sitting, you very carefully observe. Standing and sitting are made up of desire to stand, desire to sit, followed by a series of movements and expansion, bending, stretching, changing postures. Every bodily behavior you try to observe. When seeing, you continuously noting, seeing, and you capture the seeing consciousness and visible object. In smelling, you capture nose consciousness and odors. Each phenomenon you see arise for that moment, only to pass away instantly. The limbs, hands and feet, the head, the shape of the body are no longer felt and recognized. They appear merely as a recurrent physical process, rising and passing away incessantly. At this stage, you agree with Buddha. You come to understand by yourself how the body is like a mass of froth. Perceiving in this way, you realize that Rupa is impermanent, it is terrible suffering because of incessant arising and vanishing. It is anatta because it is happening not as I wish, but according to its condition. It is not my own inner substance. It is unmanageable, it is uncontrollable. And Buddha said, Vedana Lupama, Vedana feeling is likened to an air bubble. When raindrops fall on the water surface, little pockets of air find themselves trapped in the surrounding wall of water, forming minute bubbles. You see children playing. Children produce similar bubbles to play with by blowing softly from a blowpipe. Conglomeration of these minute bubbles form a mass of froth. These bubbles are formed whenever raindrops fall on the surface of water, only to vanish instantly. Feeling, which experience the sensation, is likened to the bubbles because of its nature of incessant perishing after arising. Yogi agreed that you have known through your personal knowledge, but ordinary people cannot accept this. Because ordinary people, they're not mindful, their view on looking long at the beautiful object is that the pleasant sight remains for quite a long time. When an unpleasant sight has been seen for some time, they're not mindful And they think it will also last for a long time. The ordinary object, neither pleasant nor unpleasant, is also thought to last long, to remain permanently. And also hearing, whatever is pleasant or unpleasant to hear is believed to remain long, especially painful feeling, dukkha vedana, is thought to remain for days, months, or years. Because some people very unfortunate, they have to suffer for long. The painful feeling is thought to remain for days, months, or years. So the ordinary people's view of feeling is not quite what really happens. It quickly vanishes like a bubble. To personally realize this truth, meditator must become engaged in observing constantly the Nama-rupa process happening inside your body. The whole hour, the whole day, the whole month, you continuously observing this Nama-rupa process. If engaged in this way in observing constantly the Nama-rupa process, meditators will perceive at the stage of Uddiyabhaya Jnana and Pinga Jnana, knowledge of rise and fall, knowledge of dissolution. Some yogi reach very clearly. They perceive that whatever is pleasant, unpleasant to see, to hear, to smell, to taste, vanish instantly. The passing away of painful feeling is especially vivid. Observing the painful feeling as pain, pain, with each noting, meditators see the perishing of each pain. Because the concentration is very sharp, mindfulness is good. Even at the stage of samasana jnana, knowledge of comprehension, painful feeling becomes more intensely and more numerously noticeable. At each noting, the pain from each place of observation vanish. So the pain from one place vanish when noted, from another place vanish when noted. That process goes on, and the pain vanish when noted as if instantly removed by hand. So for the meditators whose concentration has become strengthened, the pleasant side which is seen and noted vanish quickly. But since there is eye sensitivity and visual object, because karma is still going on, the objects are in front of you and the eye sensitivity is occurring, then the sight is seen again. Every time it is seen, it is noted, and it quickly vanishes again. So the process goes on. The same process takes place with unpleasant object and neither pleasant nor unpleasant object, especially in hearing. disappearance with each noting of pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral feeling or sound is very clear. Many yogis reported, but seeing is some yogi very clear, but most of the yogi not clear. And various sensations of smell disappear when noted. The taste sensations are especially vivid to the yogi who keeps noting the taste. The delicious taste he feels while chewing the food keeps on vanishing and rising with each act of his noting. And the pleasant, the unpleasant, and neutral feeling or touch also arise and vanish when noted. In life, meditation is very reliable. Ups and downs of life, feelings of happiness, sorrow, sadness, happiness, and gladness. Meditators encounter when these unpleasant and pleasant feeling may be seen when subjected to heedful noting. They vanish quickly because of the strong mindfulness and concentration. So feelings are like bubbles, disappearing fast, impermanent, untrustworthy. It is of the nature of anicca, dukkha, and anatta, impermanent, suffering, and non-self. So Mahasi Sayadaw have this aphorism: feeling is likened to bubbles. It is unstable. It is impermanent, constantly rising and vanishing. It is suffering. It is not self. So can you follow me? Feeling is likened to bubbles. Feeling is likened to bubbles. It is unstable, impermanent, constantly rising and vanishing. It is suffering. It is not self. And then Sinya, Marisi Kupama Sinya, sense perception, which apprehends ordinary sense object, whatever is seen, heard, touched, or known as reality. It is likened to a mirage. Mirage is an optical illusion caused by atmospheric condition, especially the appearance of sheet of water or pictures of houses in hot gas that rise from the earth in the midday sun of the last month of the summer. So mirage is an optical illusion, while beasts such as deer, etc., roam about in summer heat in search of water. When they see a body of water in the distance, they hasten towards that place only to find a dry tract of land instead of a pond or a lake. They have been misled by the mirage and put to a great deal of trouble. Just as a mirage gives the illusions of a body of water or of houses where no such thing exists, so also Sinya perceives people into thinking whatever is seen, heard, touched, or known to be a human being, a man, a woman, etc. So they have an illusory perception of whatever is seen, heard, touched, or known. These people are engaged in multiple activities concerning them. Just like the deer of the wild forest that go after a distant mirage, taking it to be a mass of water. So mirage is an optical illusion. Senya. To realize that perception is illusory and to save ourselves from the suffering of pursuing after non-existent object, all meditators must take heedful note of all Namarupa process as they occur. It is very agreeable to observe the nature of phenomena as they really are. When you practice in this way, your concentration gets strengthened. And it is seen that in every phenomenon, there is only the Namarupa, only the material object to be known, the mind knowing it. Later, the process becomes known that each phenomena is related event or cause and effect. Finally, you personally experience that the knowing mind, as well as the object to be known, keep on perishing while you are noting. So what was formerly held by Senya to be enduring, permanent, an individual, a being, a man, a woman, self, is now you see as a deception by Senya, which is creating an optical illusion like a mirage. In reality, meditator realize that it is merely a phenomenon of instances arising and vanishing. It is of the nature of impermanence, suffering, and non-self. Regarding Sinya, Mahasi Sayadaw have this aphorism: Sinya is likened to a mirage, unstable, impermanent, constantly rising and vanishing. It is suffering, it is not self. Can you follow me? Sinya is likened to a mirage, unstable, impermanent. It is constantly rising and vanishing. It is suffering. It is not self. So to realize Sinya, you need to be aware every phenomena occurring at the six senses. And another kanda is Sinkhara, volitional activities. Sinkhara Gadalupama, Buddha said in Pinapinipama Sutta. Volitional activities are likened to a plantain trunks. A plantain trunk looks like an ordinary tree trunk, which has a solid hard inner core. But when you cut the plantain and examine carefully, you find it is made up of layers of fibrous material with no substantial solid inner core. Sankara is like the plantain trunk, void of inner substance. It consists of 50 kinds of mental concomitants headed by Chetana, volition. The outstanding members of this group are Phassa, contact with the object, Manasikara, giving attention to the object, Ekagata, one-pointedness of mind, Vitaka, discursive thinking or initial application, Vichara, investigation or sustained application, Virya, effort, Lobha, greed, Dosa, hatred, depression, Moha, delusion, Mana, conceit, Deti, wrong views, Vijigita, skeptical doubt, Alava, non-greed, Adosa, non-hatred, Metta, Amoha, non-delusion, Saddha, faith, Sati, mindfulness, Metta, loving kindness, Karuna, compassion, Mudita, sympathetic joy, etc. are all mental concomitants forming Sankhara. Chetana, responsible for all volitional activities, physical, verbal, and mental, is its leading members. So these Sankhara Dhammas are numerically large and being involved in all our activities, physical, vocal, and mental, are very prominent. So Sankhara are mainly responsible for the atta clinging, that is, I, self, doing all these activities. Sankharas appear to possess a hard core of inner substance. However, in reality, Sankharas are devoid of useful inner substance, the hard core. So meditators can see the reality by taking note constantly of the phenomena of nama and rupa, mind and metta process. So meditators are constantly taking note while going, or left, right, or raising, dropping, raising, pushing forward, droppings. You taking note while practicing walking, and you come to notice all the arising of the desire to go. When concentration becomes stronger, and you observe the desire to go is vanishing, although desire to go is usually described as the mind to go, it is actually Sankhara under the guidance of Chetana volition. It is a volitional activities led by Chetana that motivates the actions of going. Yogi capture very clearly when you really mindful. Urged on by the Chetana volition, the acts of going involving raising, stopping, stepping, dropping is accomplished. Before such knowledge is gained, there was a notion that it is I who wants to go. I go because I want to go. A clinging to Atta. Now you capture the desire to go. That desire to go is seen to be perish away, and the knowledge appears that there is no self, only a phenomenon. And you capture other Sankara Khanda, desire to bend, desire to stretch, desire to move. All you capture. And the effort put in to fulfill the desire to look, desire to see, are also Sankaras, making momentary appearance and vanishing at once. So meditator realize they are void of essence, they are not self, they are mere phenomenon passing away. In the same way with regard to desire to listen, an effort made to hear, a fulfillment of the desire to listen. So these Sankara mental states are very breakable and fragile. Just note sincerely. You can capture well and you can break these Sankara very easily when you sincerely and diligently note it. So thinking, vitaka, investigating, vichara, and effort, virya, when noted as they arise, vanish quickly. So they are also devoid of essence, not self, but mere phenomena. In the beginning, Sankara are very subtle, lobha, dosa, desire, discouragement, depression, make their appearance. So we have to note precisely wanting, liking, anger, discouragement, trying to capture precisely, they soon disappear, establishing the fact that they are also not self, having no essence or heart core. Sometimes meditation very well, saddha, faith in the practice, faith in the triple gem, and loving kindness to all people. Metta and compassion guruna arise. They are also noted faith, faith, wishing well, wishing happiness, having compassion. Also, the wholesome sankhara also very breakable. If you note, they quickly disappear. And also in the practice of meditation, joy, happiness arise. These sankhara have to be noted also. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Simply note, wholesome or unwholesome, note it. They vanish away instantly, so they are not made up of substance. Devoid of essence, they are not self. So yogi come to realize that Sankhara is like a plantain trunk. You reveal the Sankhara no solid inner core. When cut open and examined layer by layer. So Mahasi Sayadaw have this aphorism, Sankhara is like a plantain trunk. It is unstable, it is impermanent, constantly rising and vanishing. It is suffering, it is not self. Can you follow me? Sankhara is like a plantain trunk. It is unstable, impermanent, constantly rising and vanishing. It is suffering, it is not self. And then the last one is Vijnana. Mayupamincha Vijnanam. Vijnana is like a magician trick. Becoming conscious of something is like producing a magician trick. When seeing an object, a person ordinarily knows that he see a man, he see a woman. He also knows that I see, it is I who see. I see a man, so he is tricked by Vijnana, his magician trick. When hearing anything also, he knows, I hear a man's voice, I hear a woman's voice, I hear, it is I who hear. So he is also tricked by magician, Vijnana. Getting a smell, he knows it is the smell of such and such a person. I smell. When eating, he knows this is food I eat is prepared by such and such a person. It is I who eat. So it is deceived by magician Vijnana. When touching, he knows, I have touched so and so. It is I who touch. He is tricked by magician Vijnana. In thinking also, he considers this, I'm thinking. It is I who think. To know, to become conscious of things in this manner is not knowing nama rupa as they really are, or to know wrongly judge from the standpoint of ultimate truth, from the standpoint of noble truth. So such wrong knowledge is not brought about by the five vijnanas. Chaku vijnana, seeing consciousness, sota vijnana, hearing consciousness, etc. The five vijnanas cognize only what is ultimately true. Chaku vijnana, seeing consciousness, cognize only visible sight. Sota vijnana, hearing consciousness, cognize only sound, not as the wrongly conceived objects of man, woman, etc. But at the end, full process of particular cognition, Chaita Viti, when reflection takes place with rising of mind consciousness, Manovinyana, misconception, a man or woman with regard to the visible sight previously seen are liable to occur. So when we see something, there are different moments in what we call seeing. When a visible object comes into the avenue of the eye sensitivity, as we say, when a visible object strikes at the retina, the flow of inactive consciousness, bhoinga, is disturbed. So when it is disturbed, it vibrates or it is shaken. After 3 moments, it ceases. In its place, there arises another kinds of consciousness, an active consciousness. At that moment, the mind turns towards the present object. The mind turns towards the active series of consciousness. So that moment is just called turning process. In Pali, it is Pincha Dwara Vijana, adverting consciousness. After the turning moment, there comes seeing consciousness, Chakku Vijnana. After the mind has turned to the visible object, the mind see it. It is called seeing consciousness, Chakku Vijnana. The seeing consciousness is a very weak consciousness. It is very superficial seeing, just seeing the visible object and nothing more. After the seeing moment disappear, there is another moment, receiving moment. In Pali, it is sampadechana. That means the mind received the object presented to it after it has been seen. After the receiving moments comes the moments of investigation, santirana. In this moment, the object is investigated as to whether it is desirable object or an undesirable object, as to whether it is an agreeable or a disagreeable object or a neutral object. After the investigation consciousness comes the determining moments. At this moment, the object is determined as agreeable, disagreeable, or neutral. Once the object is determined, there follow moments of the real experiencing the object. These moments are said to run for 7 times under normal condition. These moments are the most active. They are the productive moments. These moments can be accompanied by either attachment, lust, or craving, or anger, or delusion. If the person have a wise reflection, he or she is inclined to wholesome deeds, he have good friends, there may come wholesome impulsion. If the mental inclination is not wholesome, and bad companion, etc., there may come attachment, anger, and delusion. After these very active moments of thoughts, active moments of consciousness, there follow two moments. These two moments take the object taken by the active moments preceding them. Then the inactive consciousness arises again, or the series of consciousness lapses into inactive consciousness. So this is the thought process that arises when we see something. It is unbelievable that there could be so many moments in just an act of seeing. There is multiplicity of events taking place in a single act of seeing. So when seeing something, our mind is greatly absorbed in the different moments. These moments cannot be seen by ordinary people because they are so small, so short, and so subtle. Only the minds of the Buddha can see all these moments. Buddha described these moments so that we understand that there are all these moments involved in just one single act of seeing, not to be tricked by the vijnana in the practice, dite ditamatamboisati. In what is seen, there will be only the seen. Buddha said. So according to the teaching, after seeing, if you can stop at the decision moment and not go over to the jhana, impulsion moments, or the moments of really experiencing the object, that is the best. So the best things to do is stop at the votapana moment, decision moment. There may be 2 or 3 decision moments and not get into taking that object as permanent, pleasurable, safe, etc. So it is possible to stop at such a very small, short moment and not let it run until the end of the process. It is possible through the constant application of your mindfulness. Now how you practice, you may be satisfied your practice, continuously noting that constant applications of mindfulness can possible to stop at such a very small, short moment and not let it run until the end of the process. That is when your mindfulness, concentrations, and understanding mature, then meditator will be able to stop even at the moments of decision and not go over to what is called the impulsion stages. So these thought moments run very fast, so fast that it is almost imperceptible. Also in Vidama, these thought moments run more than 1 billion times in a second. Mind is so powerful. But with the instrument of your mindfulness, concentration and understanding, meditators will be able to stop at the decision moment and not go over to the impulsion moments. So when the Buddha said, Ditte ditta mattam bodhisati, there will only be the seeing with regard to what is seeing. Buddha meant that meditator should stop at just the moments of decision. So what will happen if we cannot stop there? If we cannot stop there, there will be the impulsion moment, there will be the most productive moments, there may be either wholesome or unwholesome mental states. The wholesome or unwholesome mental states are very weak, and so they cannot give many results. If we cannot stop there, then there we follow another mental process, another thought process. We always go back to what happened, what we have seen. It is our habit. We always go back to what we have seen or what we have experienced. So the next moment or the next phase, it is recollecting phase. During the recollecting phase, our mind takes the object which has just been seen, which has disappeared from the avenue of the eye's sensitivity. So the next phase, the recollecting phase, takes the object which has just gone out of existence. If we cannot stop at the first thought process, we may be able to stop at the second thought process. This second thought process does not arise through the five senses. And if we cannot stop at the second thought process, it is still good because thought process takes the object which is a reality. It is not a concept yet. After taking that object and experiencing it, and if we can stop there and not go to the later phases, it is still good. Because we will not have either attachment or anger or hatred with regard to that object which we have seen. If we cannot stop at the second phase, we will go over to the third phase. During the third phase, we begin to see not reality. We begin to see concept. We begin to see things, a being or a man or a woman. During the first phase or second phase, what we see is just the visible object. It is just reality. We cannot say that we see a things or being or a man or woman. But during the third phase, we come to see the man, woman, or the things. When we see the concept, these are concepts, not reality. So we come to have liking or disliking about these objects. So we acquire wholesome or unwholesome mental state at that moment. So after coming to the third phase, we will go over to the fourth phase, fourth stage. We think of the names of those concepts. At the third phase, we just see a man or woman, but the what man or woman, the names, we can say, I see a man, I see a woman, etc. So at least there are these four thought processes arising one after the another when we see something. We have been seeing things and we have been taking them as a conceptual stage for so long. that it is almost impossible for us to stop at the end of the first process, at the end of the second process. So in the practice of meditation, meditation teacher always remind you, don't think, note continuously. If you think and think and think and think, there will come concept. So we almost always run over to the third and fourth phases. That is why if we're not mindful, we cannot see under normal circumstances. When we are not meditating, when we are not mindful, we cannot see things as they really are. So not to trick by the vijnana. Buddha said, Date data masambo bhavisati. There will only be the seeing with regard to the seeing. That means we must stop at just what is seen and not go over to taking it as a being, as a man or as a woman. And also we are not to have attachment or anger towards that visible object. In order to be able to do that, meditators have to be able to apply mindfulness, concentration, and understanding with diligence. That is what meditators are doing at the retreat, not to trick by the vijnana. Try to capture the reality, not the concept. When meditator reach the stage of vipassana knowledge, where he or she see the dissolutions of phenomena, and also when he or she reach the higher stages of vipassana knowledge, meditators will be able to stop at only what is seen and not let it go over. Just noting, noting, observing, observing, and not thinking at all. So phenomena noted as they occur at the moment of their occurrences, and there is not seen as such as self, atta. There is only continuous arising and perishing, and also hearing, smelling, etc. There is no hearing for the long time. With each act of hearing, the hearing consciousness arises and vanishes instantly. There is no touching for a long time. At each act of touching, the touch consciousness arises and vanishes instantly. There is no thinking over for long. With each act of thinking, the mind consciousness arises and vanishes instantly. So yogis understand everything is impermanent. Arising is always followed by instant perishing. There is nothing reliable, trustworthy, only suffering. Everything happens not as my wish, not as I wish, but as conditioned by their own causes and circumstances, just the nature of anatta. So Master Sayadaw have this aphorism, vijnana is likened to magician trick, unstable, impermanent, constantly arising and vanishing. It is suffering, it is not self. Can you follow me? Vijnana is likened to magician trick. It is unstable, it is impermanent, it is constantly rising and vanishing, it is suffering, it is not self. So today, Penna Penupama Sutta, it is quite obvious that the five aggregates are void of permanent substance, wholesome, pleasant in the core. They are not self, but of the nature of insubstantiality. So we have to stop our discourse for today. By practicing Vipassana meditation, by observing every phenomena occurring at the six senses, by virtue of having given respectful attention to the discourse on Anattalakkhana Sutta and Pinapinipama Sutta, may all yogis be liberated from all suffering. May all yogis realize the real peace in the very near future.